Okay, you guys, another yarn. I don't really want to call it a podcast. I don't think it's a podcast. Another yarn video. This one's actually a quilting video. Sorry, guys. It's a quilting video. I'm going to show you some of my work in progresses. Now, these are all quilt tops that I've finished over the years and just haven't gotten around to actually quilting, which seems wrong to admit in public. This one is fabric. It's the Denise Schmidt Flea Market Fancy fabric, and I was given it as a Christmas gift. And because it was all fat quarters, I thought it would be perfect to make into it's a Pinwheel Sampler. Now, this Pinwheel Sampler is hosted by Rachel, and I don't remember her website. So, but if you look for Pinwheel Sampler in color order, I believe, is the lady that did this. So each block is a different pinwheel block. There's actually two of each block. And then they're all done in different colors. So you get a feeling for what it looks like in those kind of colors. So I did that, and it's all ready. I could put another border on it. I've been debating whether or not I want to put another border on it. It's a good size now. It's just a big square. So I'm not sure if I want to put another border. And then I put in the sashing, just to make it an extra level of difficulty, I did these lovely little pinwheel posts, which I alternated my solid red and gray and some solid red and yellows. And what else do we have here? That one's a red and gray, red, yellow, and gray. So yeah, I just alternated those in between the blocks for a little bit of an extra pop in the sashing. And that's one of my finished quilt tops that really needs to be quilted because it's gorgeous. I think I'm actually going to take it to be professionally quilted, and I'm a little worried because I'm afraid that that really dark red, I didn't pre-wash it, and I'm terrified that it's going to run and completely ruin this whole quilt, which would make me cry because I spent so much time on this, making sure my points were all right, making sure everything was perfect because I wanted this Pinwheel Sampler to look amazing, and it does, but it doesn't look amazing if I'm afraid to wash it. I had a thing for a while where I bought jelly rolls thinking, oh, there's so many things you can do with them, and then never knowing what to do with them. And I also had a thing for batiks. So I ended up buying this really brightly colored jelly roll, and I turned it into plus signs. They're all just, each block is just this little plus sign, hold it, and then sewn on point, until it turned into what looks like a gorgeous lattice. And I went and I bought the blue background. I couldn't figure out, they tried to tell me to do a white at the quilt store, and I didn't like the look of the white with it. I thought it made everything else look really bland. So I ended up doing this blue, and now it's just super bright, like everything I do, and gorgeous, but yeah. It's probably a little overwhelming for most people. Get an idea for my decorating tastes with this kind of quilt. So that's another quilt. This one was a Halloween quilt that I started, and I'm almost done. I was free motion quilting it last time I was working on it, and you'll see I have bats. It's all on a white tree background. I've got this little zombie dude, and then I've got a jack-o'-lantern, and another zombie dude. And it's just a little wall hanging that I started working on with like a black spiderweb sashing and then an orange spiderweb around it all that I've never finished. And I actually have a really cool candy corn print that is supposed to be the binding on it. should I ever actually finish quilting it. The worst part is I actually thread basted it, because some genius thought that she might actually hand quilt it. And that genius was wrong, and I haven't hand quilted it. So now I'm kind of stuck with the thread basting in there. And speaking of thread basting and planning to hand quilt, I actually started hand quilting this one, and it's driving me nuts. It's driving me so crazy, but I've started hand quilting it. This is one I started a long time ago. I actually took a piecing class, and I've got, you know, a relatively good amount of it quilted. I think you can maybe see the quilting in those, but yeah, that's another one that's, you know, the cats have laid on it, turn it into their bed without it ever being finished. What else do I have? Oh, and I have one last one that was really simple. It was actually supposed to have applique on it, and then I got tired of it, and so I didn't do the applique. I could still do the applique because it's just a big quilt top with 12-inch squares, and then like a square and square that works out into this really cool pattern. Again, batiks, because I had a thing for batiks at one time, and I just need to quilt it and measure it, and I might just take it, if it's the right measurements. I don't know if it is. I think it's too big to go for Victoria's quilts. I used to quilt with a local Victoria's Quilts group, and I loved doing that, but I had a horrible memory, and I kept forgetting to go to the meetings at night when I got home from work. And then they moved the meetings to during the day when I'm working, and so I never go because I can't. And then I think they kind of got a little fed up with me, and they stopped by to pick up the one quilt that I'd been working on, and I had cancer. So there I was with my chemo cap on because I was just too tired and lazy to put a wig on to get to the door, and she was shocked. So I ended up, I made a few quilts for Victoria Quilts, and then I was given one by Victoria Quilts when they found out that I had cancer. So that was kind of an interesting thing. I loved doing it though. I loved, you know, they'd have these big bins of fabric, and I could go and pick through all this fabric, but the size is like 50 by 70, 50 by 70, and there's so few quilts that you can, you know, but the quilters are so creative. Like when I was getting treatment, I saw so many women and men in with their Victoria's quilts, because they would actually, my local group would go to the cancer center south of me, and it's a small town, and they've got a cancer center there, and they would take them and let the patients pick their own quilts, which was really sweet. And yeah, so that's, yeah. That's more of my quilting insanity. Me just throwing stuff on the floor because that's what you do, right? So other than that, I will be getting back to talking about books soon. Nonfiction November's winding up, so I'll be having a video on that soon. But other than that, have a good day, everyone. And I hope you're enjoying sort of my crafty stuff that I'm sharing. So it's not going to just be books on this channel anymore. It'll be very clear what I'm talking about in all my videos, because obviously it's going to have to be pretty clear. There's differences between books and yarn and stuff. So yeah, that's it for this episode. Talk to you guys later.